Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the wait. Great night. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to MVP, Netflix, The Zone. Respect to Jake Paul as well. And questions available to Anthony Joshua for you guys.
Hey Jake, right here. Andre Sale, ESPN, to your left. What's up, man? Good to see you too. Back in the US, you got the fitness that you desired, but can you kind of talk about the frustration of dealing with Jake's movement? Is that what you expected out of him in this fight? And were the things that you think about that was like, I could have done something a little bit better than this night earlier?
So there was two things that could happen in the fight. Jake would have either come full steam ahead 100 miles an hour, or Jake would have moved around the ring 100 miles an hour. There's two things I would have done. Tried to shut Jake down at 100 miles an hour, or I would have gone on the back foot. So Jake decided to move around the ring, and I decided to put the pressure on. What I could have done better is a lot of things. 100%. In the fight game, you've seen the amazing fighters that have graced us over the last 100 years, and the expectations that we put on ourselves are immense, but I tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron is, fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you that, Jake, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see a time when I'm gonna take your soul, and you're either gonna give up or you're gonna get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start, but as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit, he has some heart. He tried his best, and I take my hat off to him because, number one, a lot of fighters haven't got in the ring with me, and Jake did. And secondly, even when he got knocked down, he kept on trying to get up, and I take my hat off to him. So America, I think you have someone who could potentially, if he still has the heart for it, come back again, dust the dirt off his shoulder, and come again and maybe sell out this center sometime in 2026. Maybe against a Javante Davis, a Ryan Garcia, who knows?
Eddie, I want to follow with you because when this fight was first announced, you had said something to the effect of this would end Jake Paul's career. After what you saw tonight, do you think that Jake should continue to box, or what do you think the future holds for him?
Yeah, no, I really take my hat off to him. I mean, we have to see if it is a broken jaw. Those injuries are very difficult to come back from. But as AJ said, like that last shot would have knocked out a lot of heavyweights. And I know he went down heavy, but you know, he was conscious on the floor. And I thought his game plan, although obviously very negative early on, which it had to be, was smart at times. And there were times where he held his feet and let his hands go. You know, it was a very one-sided fight. It was always going to be a one-sided fight, but you can't give him anything but credit and respect. There's a lot of negative people out there. There's a lot of people who want to criticise people. They're not doing what Jake Paul's done. He just went in with Anthony Joshua and gave it his best shot. Took a lot of punishment and ended the fight eventually on his feet after the stoppage. So, you know, I think he'll have to see physically how that jaw, I don't know the severity of it, it's a very difficult injury to come back from, but he showed he's got ability, and that's what we said, you know, he's dedicated to the game.
Last one, AJ. Before this fight we talked and you said, I'm not thinking about 2026 until after this fight. Now, what is the plan? Because there was talk about Turkey Al-Sheikh saying that you would take an interim fight before you would fight Tyson Fury. Can you guys kind of illuminate what the plan is entering next year?
So, the best promoter in the world has been speaking with Turkey, His Excellency, Riyadh Season, and now he's going to relay those messages and speak to my training team, the Right to Fight team. They're going to have conversations, they're going to speak to my manager, and everyone's going to kind of see where I'm at. My training team know my body really well. They know what I've been through over the X amount of weeks I've been with them. So it's up to them to make a decision. They're going to speak with Eddie, and then hopefully in a week or so I'll have some news. I'm a strong guy, I want to push on, but the coaches, it's really up to them. They're the ones that guide me. Fighters will always fight, coaches are there to guide us.
AJ is Kevin Garcia, aka the Puerto Rican Kid KG, and I just wanted to get your assessment. You know, you've now been in the ring with Jake Paul and Francis Ngannou. What do you think about them comparatively when you assess what they were like up against you?
Both good, both have heart. It takes a lot, that ring walk. Obviously 1,000 fighters have done it before me, but it's imagine sleeping the night before a big fight, and then you wake up in the morning, and you're waiting for that moment when it's time to leave, you get to the change room, you make that walk. I take my hat off to Francis Ngannou because he's a ultimately an MMA fighter, and he crossed over into boxing twice. He beat up Tyson Fury, and then had a short fight with me, but he walked in that ring twice, credit him. Then Jake Paul, who he's been boxing now for 5 or so years, at an elite level, the amount of pressure that's been put on his shoulders, and he's lived up to that pressure. I'm not going to say that they're world class, because in our modern day era, there's maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 Andy Joshuas that can punch, that can avoid punches, that know what they're doing in the ring. So Jake will struggle at top level, but he has a place in boxing if he wants to stay, in my opinion. So credit to him and his team for getting in this far.
Thank you. And just one other question for you, Anthony. Can you talk a little bit about, was it frustration or what was going through your mind when some of the clinching was happening? You had hit him a few times on you let him go a few times, but then there was a time on a break where you gave him a few good body shots. What was happening in the ring?
So 2 things were happening in my mind in the clinches. In the clinch, he done really well. When you're in survival mode, you will always find a way. So I was trying to look for certain shots. I actually wanted to let my hands go in the clinch, but he done well to tie my hands up. And as you can see, when they were free, I tried to land a few body shots. And I tried when I could. It was a bit messy, but from a systematical breakdown, the right hand landed, it found its home, and the referee waved it off after. Did he get counted out, or did the ref wave it off? So the right hand found its home. I would have loved to have landed some more body shots, but it weren't for tonight, maybe in the future, but we got the job done in the end anyway.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you, man.
Jack from the Sun. A question for you, Eddie. There's actually been some rumours around the circuit this week that there's a fight for AJ in February next year against the kickboxing champion, Rico Van Hoven. Is there any legs to that?
No, we've been talking about a possible fight with Turk El Sheikh. A couple of opponents mentioned. The biggest challenge now is, AJ said it's 8 weeks tonight. He had a very tough camp, 8 or 9 weeks with a new team who gave him a good working over. So we will sit down with that team and talk about when he will be ready to return. So in an ideal world, that would be the time, but we're going to see when he's ready. Rico, whoever it is, we haven't finalised that yet, but the date really is what we're going to work on over the next 4, 5, 6 days, because we're not going to rush him back if he's not quite ready, but it won't be long. And the plan is to fight in the spring, and then obviously fight Tyson Fury.
AJ, if you had it your way, would you just go into fight Tyson next, or would you like one more?
Yeah, I would.
We can do that, by the way, straight away. No interim fights. If Tyson's ready and AJ's ready, we don't have to fight in February or March. I think he's saying he needs to fight.
Give the doctor 8 weeks, 24 hours to sign a contract. Let's see if he's a man.
AJ right here.
Greedy belly.
Right here, Rafael Prado with a White News Doc.
He's looking saying, let me do the fucking. Go, wait. We have Tyson Fury's cousin here. Go on, let him hear your skills.
We'll do that. Tyson, what are you saying about maybe going straight into the fight with no warm-up?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll do it right now, 100%. Get back into that Casilla Centre, put that ring together, and put me in with him! 100%!
And what's John Fury saying? How's he feeling about the fight?
I tell you what, you know it, we all know it, everyone here in America knows it. It's the biggest fight in boxing, let's do it, 100%.
Part of the new team, obviously, Alexander Usyk. Who would you see winning the fight?
For me, you know I have to go with the teammate. I have to go, but it's a very big fight, and we look forward to it, okay?
Obviously, AJ is a fan of you, Mike Tyson. What do you think about the fight with him and Tyson Fury?
I'll tell you what, you know, it feels there's something so big about it. And I think it's a big fight for British boxing, but not just the big fight globally. You know, but we are in America, and I know Donald Trump wants to see it. So
it would be great if we could have it in America. It's a big fight.
Yeah.
It's a very
Trump?
big
How's
fight.
Trump? What do you think Trump would say about bringing that fight to the USA?
We could bring it to the USA. We've got the World Cup here. That's going to be so big. The biggest World Cup you've ever seen in your entire life. So let's have it here. We've got big stadiums.
And Mike, I saw earlier when you just spoke, you also turned into Robert De Niro halfway through.
I did. I enjoyed that.
I meant Al Pacino.
Oh, we're in Miami in Scarface. I gotta tell you, I mean, with Jake Paul, you said, say hello to my little friend. That's how you did it. It is Christmas season, by the way. Joe Pesci likes Home Alone.
I wanted to ask you as well, Eubank Senior, about what you thought, how I carried myself with the Warriors code.
yeah, I thought you carried yourself very well. I really did. I did. And it was amazing to see. You know, but I believe your promoter does a far better Chris Eubank Senior. And he doesn't do it in the interview than me, so I think you should do it right now. For me.
Anthony Joshua, how do you think you done tonight?
You know, listen, man, I'm working on you. I'm working on you. That's it. You know,
I'm gonna come over there and get you on the
it's a work in progress.
Rafael Prado with FightNews.com. AJ, I want to ask you, you mentioned the psychological aspect of the game. It seemed like all your answers, the look in your eyes, everything, you just seemed to be very in tune, very aligned during the lead up to this fight. Was that just your reassessment of the game from being off for that amount of time, or the new camp with Usyk and his team, or is it just that you're a veteran now and the way you approach the game is different?
Good question. New team. They're giving me like a spark, a love for the game again. I took a year out. I needed that. You know, sometimes things can be going 100 miles an hour. Just need to slow it down a bit and actually have a look at what's going on around me. And I think that's been important. And now I can just say, I'm just an athlete. That's what I want to be. I just want to be an athlete now. While I'm still competing and just give it 100%. I don't want to be anything else. I just want to be an athlete. I don't want to be distracted. And I don't want to be a businessman. I just want to be an athlete, and I think that's my business. That's my business. And if I can focus on that, I think I can reign again. I've still got a lot of passion for the game, and yeah, that's what's happened over the last year. Focusing more, taking away a lot of distractions, and the team I'm with are pushing me. And I think, like, even though it's hard, I know that's what's needed. And I'm welcoming more. I'm welcoming more challenges in the gym. I say it now, but it's what I need if I'm going to be successful in boxing.
Well, you can see it shining through and it showed.
Sorry?
You can see it shining through and it showed leading up to this fight.
You can see it?
Yeah, I
For real?
definitely felt
Okay.
that.
That's positive then, and long may it continue. Good to see you.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
You know, obviously you said you had 15 months out, a time when I'm guessing you had lots of questions in your own mind. Did tonight answer any of those questions?
Well, I wanted to fight, so the question is, I was asking myself, do I actually want to fight? The only way I'm going to find out is if I get in the ring and have a feel for it. So getting in the ring today, I definitely want to fight, but I definitely want to get better as well. So I'm hungry for more. I'm hungry to get back on that gravy train and just continue everything that I kind of left behind 2025. I had a tough defeat in my last fight, and I just want to. 2024, I had a tough defeat in 2024, and I just want to pick up and move forward again. So yeah, I'm glad I got back in the ring and I figured out that this is where I want to be. It was a real test for me to figure out if I still want to continue or not. And this was a good eye opener to say, this is where I want to be. I want to get back in the ring and go again. Thank you.
Anthony, I'm Travis with Weighing In with Travis Hartman. I don't know if you remember me, but at the very
You said
kickoff-
to Jake about his record, he fought better fighters than this person and that, right?
Yeah. He
Who were
fought
they?
you at his 14th. But do you remember what I asked you?
So you asked me, I can't remember.
So I fought Terrence Crawford in the pros. I went the distance with Terrence Crawford.
You fought who?
Terrence Crawford in the pros.
Yeah.
I went the distance with him. Lost the decision on points. But I asked you if you went the distance with Jake Paul with that loss.
Okay.
And you said yes, I had to knock him out.
Yeah.
So tonight, did it go how you thought it would go? And is it a success for you? I know you won. We all see that, right? Is it a success for you tonight? And have a fun.
No. I needed to do better.
Yeah, you good.
I needed to do better. Yeah. No, it's a win, but it's not a success. I think my coach expects more from me, and I expect more from myself. But what can we do? We can't reverse the clocks. I have to move forward. I have to put that in the past now. After today, you may see a bit of social media kind of lap up all of the algorithm attention. But for me, it's in the past. I can't live off of that win. I've got a lot of improvement that I need to do. So yeah, I'm not happy.
So I saw you when you were walking out. I got to see you. You were right below me. You were standing there for a little bit. And I was just wondering, did this fight feel like a real fight? Like a fight where you go into a heavyweight championship of the world? Did it feel like that? Because to me, it just looked a little different. Because was it hard for you to really get up?
Yeah.
Knowing that that's not
There was a lot riding
Dillian
on
White,
it.
Joseph Parker.
There was a
all
lot
those
riding
guys.
on this fight.
Yeah.
There was a lot riding on this fight. A lot of pressure. A lot of expectations. So I had to perform. A lot of people doubt me. I saw Rizzo Suleiman put a picture up of Jake. He don't put a picture up of me. A lot of people don't respect me, so there's a lot of pressure. And I had boxing on my back today. And that was what it was really. I took Jake as serious as I needed to. But most importantly, I take myself as serious as I need to. I respect myself, I respect boxing. And I know what it takes to get in the ring. You have to be prepared. And one slip up could cost you in that ring. One slip up could cost you in that ring. As I said, credit to Jay, I'll stand on that. I'm not gonna sit up here. If he would have beaten me, he would bash me. You know that, right? Imagine him up here now. They would have torn me and Eddie apart. But I'm not gonna do that to Jay. I'm gonna give him the credit. But if he wants to stay at the top level at heavyweight, he needs to work harder because it's very difficult. It's a very difficult division to reign in.
Thank you for what you did for boxing tonight.
Thank you, bro.
Two more, guys.
You alright, Michelle?
Hey, how are you?
Good, you?
Michelle Beckels with Box Nation. Anthony, I could be wrong here, but I'd like to have you address this because there was a lot of speculation that in the last year and a half that maybe you had fallen out of love with boxing. We weren't quite sure if we were going to see you back in the ring. I understand why you would take a fight like this because I think for you it was probably a bit fun, right? Despite the pressure. But was it true? Did you fall out of love with boxing? And if so, how did you find it again?
I was trying to fall back in love with boxing. I realized like if you're a family man, I realized that I was working away from home. I was spending time with my friends, and my wife wasn't happy. So I had to kind of look at the decisions I was making, and I had to come back home to boxing, and I had to sacrifice. I had to take a look at my life, make necessary changes to put my love back to the sport. This sport is unforgiving. If you don't give it 100% attention, those belts will be torn away from you and be put on someone else's waist who gives it the love and attention that boxing needs, and I wasn't giving it enough love and attention. So it wasn't that I stepped away because I didn't want to fight, it's I stepped away because I knew if I'm gonna be in boxing, I need to be 100%. And that's what it was. And it took me, I gave myself a year. I said I'm going to give myself a year. And on September 21st, 2025, the year was done. We normally do 12-week training camp. September 21st, October 21st, November 21st, December 19th. 3 months of training, and we get straight back in the ring. So for me, it was a perfect plan, and I don't want to start like losing my focus now and go and start like socializing and let's get lit. You're popping right now, you know what I'm saying? Your boy's got to try and stay focused. It's difficult. Staying focused takes effort, and I do need to though, because as I said, boxing, if you don't give it the love it needs, it will get up and leave and go and spend the night, your belts will spend the night with someone else. So I need to focus, man. And I took the time out because I just wanted to regain the focus I need if I'm going to fight.
Joining Alexander Usyk, his team, it came a bit of a shock to the boxing world. How did that come about, and how did you feel that you guys meshed?
So I spoke to Sergey, who works with Usyk, and he invited me down to their training camp. Ultimately, just to do some rounds. There was nothing more to it, but our schedules didn't align at the time. And I spoke to them. I then spoke to Tom Hall, who's a good friend of mine, and he said, "Look, let's try and find some time in your schedule. Put boxing first, and go out there. They're a very good team. You want to win, they're winners. If you want to win, surround yourself with winners." Spoke to Eddie, spoke to family, everyone said it's a good idea. I was initially going to go out there for 2 weeks. That turned into 3 months. That turned into a fight. And long may it continue. It's been a really good experience, a really good eye-opener. And I think I can definitely do more. I done well, becoming 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. But I think if I would have known what it takes, I think I would have been undisputed. To the young fighters coming up, you have to work harder. If you really want to win and you really want to get to the top of boxing like Usyk has, you have to work harder. And that's what I've learned with these guys. Hard work doesn't lie. Hard work will give you the results you need. You know, tonight wasn't perfect, but the result was a win. And that only happened because of the work we put in over the last 2-3 months. So thank you to the team for your efforts. I appreciate it. Thank you to MVP, thank you to Matchroom, thank you to everybody involved. I hope I see you guys soon. And for those that celebrate Christmas, enjoy your Christmas. And for those that don't, enjoy the festive period. Thank you for your love, appreciation for the sport, and we'll see you soon. Thank you guys.
Guys, we're not doing interviews yet. Okay, all right.
I'm Scott VS News. Congratulations, champ, on a tremendous victory. You look absolutely sensational. I want to ask you, how are you able to do this at 50 years old, competing world-level fighters? How do you do it?
Well, I don't think about my age. You know, I train with young guys every day, you know, and I keep doing a lot of different trainings, and I think the age is only the number.
And can you tell us as well, once you dropped William, you guys actually touched his glove. Can you explain what exactly happened in that one moment?
What do you mean?
After you dropped Woodley, you guys briefly touched gloves right before the ref jumped in and stopped the fight. Can you just explain what happened in that briefly?
Well, I'm happy, you know, because when you're there, you see your opponent going down and the judge coming in front, you're happy, you know, because your job work, you know, and I think this is very interesting sport because in MMA you can hold your opponent, you can put it on the ground. In boxing, you can't do that, you know. And for me, boxing is very hard sport to learn, especially because I train with young kids. Everett is an Olympic guy, gold medal, you know. Junior is amazing boxer, my sons, and it's very difficult for me to try to follow the same technique the kids have, you know, the footwork and everything. But I'm a little crazy. I just try to do my best every day, you know. Everything in my life, I try to do my best.
Before I wrap up, you had an impressive victory today to close out the year. You called out Chris Weidman. What can we expect from you for a big 2026?
Well, first of all, I need to get back to work because my team just called me and the entire camp training and pushed me hard to say, boss, you need to get back to work. I say, okay, but give me the little space for continue my training. And I'm back to work. I'm back to finish my paperwork to go to the police academy too. And we'll see. Maybe I fight in the next event. We'll see.
Mr. Silva, over here. Absolute honor to be talking to you, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
So for your longevity, and especially from an old man from me, like any advice you would give and tips of how you have stayed so healthy, you look still so great even at 50 years old?
Man, the secret is passion and love. Everything you do in your life, professional, doesn't matter if it's fight or not, you don't love, you don't go make successful. You don't come happy. And everything I do in my life, I do it because I have a passion to do. And the combat sport in my life is very special, you know, and it's something I pray every day because God gives me that opportunity, you know, to keep doing something so amazing, you know, and prove for the new generation everybody can do everything, but you need to question yourself every time when you go to the bed at night. Is your love, is your passion, is something you love to do it because you make successful.
And one last question for me. So you have inspired generations after generations, including me, and since your days fighting in Pride. For the next generation that is coming up and watching Jake Paul and watching these fight cards and everything, what piece of advice would you give them, and how would you inspire them to pursue their passions and pursue and follow in your footsteps?
Well, I think the new generation need to understand the more important, respect the legends, you know, respect the legends, and respect the word, you know. I think the word they need more passion and respect for the human beings respect, you know. A lot of bad things happen and I don't know, I try to pass my bad things for everybody, you know, every day, and that's my work, that's my mission in here in this work.
Rafael Prado with FightNews.com. I just have a question regarding this fight particularly. What was your first round like? Were you just analyzing him and just timing that uppercut to take a shot in the second round?
Yeah, I just doing the strategy. I training with my team, just move and take my perfect time to doing my best shot in the fight, you know. And everything's work. I'm so happy because everything I learned in my camp training is work in the fight.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add, I thought that for your age, you're still very mentally sharp in there as well, because it did seem to me like...
I'm a Spider-Man, bro.
Yeah, you ageless.
Oh, I'm sorry, I tell my secrets. Oh my God.
Michelle Joy-Belfer with Fox Nation. I'd like to ask your opinion on this because it's like a really big debate. Which would you say is the hardest to do, MMA or boxing?
Well, it's two different sports, you know, and I think boxing for me is hard because the footwork, hands up all time, you know, is very hard for me. And I watched the video with my fight this night, and I saw my hands little down, and I talked to my coach, so, I need you back and train me this, you know, because I put my hands down, and that's not good. But it's a two different sports. I think the MMA is, you have different disciplines to learn. In boxing, you have to work footwork, your hands up, and a lot of different techniques. But for me, boxing is hard. It's very hard to learn.
And a follow-up to that is, then who would win in a bar fight, an MMA fighter or a boxer?
Well,
my family has a major debate over this, and I just have to hear it from you.
Depend the rules, you know, and the rules is in the MMA guy, they have more chance to win, and only boxing, for sure the boxing guy will win. That for sure.
Gary Anderson, Danny Segura with MMA Junkie. Anderson, how many more fights do you want to do? You look great. Is there a number, set number that you want to do?
I don't have a number, you know, I just wake up every day and say, God, thank you so much, I'm here again. And when I have a chance to put everything together, you know, between my work, my company, and my training, I just say, oh my God, I can do this again. Wow, I'm so lucky. You know, it's not very good to when I pass the news for my family. You know, when I go fight again. Everybody, no way, is that you crazy? And yeah, I'm a little crazy. And yeah, it's a passion, brother. It's a passion. It's something I'm lucky because I don't see nobody in my age, in my generation, doing the same, you know, and that's I pray every day and say, God, thank you for everything you do in my life.
Are you surprised you're still fighting?
No, I'm not surprised. I just keep work every day, you know, because that's I say, the age in my mind is a number. For me, I don't think about my age, you know. I don't have bad discipline, you know. I'm very hard in my food and everything I do in my life to make my life better, you know, because I like to see my grandson grow up and train with me too.
Lastly, did you watch Jake's fight against Anthony and what you think about it?
Well, I think Jake improved a lot and doing a good job.
Anderson, I just want to follow up on that. You know, any message for Jake, especially considering that not only are you a former opponent of his, but you work with his company, you see how far he's come. What did you think about his performances?
Wow, I think that Jake doing an amazing job, you know, and the big responsibility is for Joshua, not for Jake, you know. But the people need to respect Jake, you know, and imagining Jake little big and have more time to training for this fight. You know, I think Jake improved a lot. The people need to respect him. I don't say that only because I'm fighting here in the company, but it's because Jake, the people need to respect Jake, you know. I mean, every single fight go inside the ring, everybody need respect.
Knockout tonight.
I didn't miss you, buddy. I'm sorry.
I said congratulations on the spectacular knockout tonight.
Thank you.
I know you and Willie go back to the UFC days, and I was wondering if you got a chance to speak to him after the fight. And if not, did you have any words for him?
Wow. I don't you can give back the question because I can't miss you correctly. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, about Tyrone, I think Tyrone don't have a long time to come for this fight, and he's a great fighter. You know, a lot of people don't give the credit to him because I think the people don't see how much us work in this sport. You know, the combat sport is very brutal, and Tyrone is an amazing fighter. He's a legend, and people need to respect him.
Were you able to speak to him after the fight?
Yeah, I just say thank you, man. Thank you for accepting the fight, and that's it. You know, because when you go inside the ring, you go to win. You know, but I have a family. Tyrone have a family, and I think, of course, I'm happy. But and the other thing, I'm a human being, and I feel a little sad because, you know, what is it is a fight, but it's very tough.
Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Anderson.
You're welcome, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Fighters in the UK already. One of them has been going back and forth with Alicia, and I think to Alicia's credit, she did say it should be 3-minute rounds. If and when they both want to do it, they both have to want to do it, right? We can't force that, but the UK is pound for pound the most important boxing market in the world. The US is the most lucrative market in the world, so we want to be relevant in both.
Hey Alicia, Los with Fight Hype. First off, congratulations on the win. Dubois, on her post-fight, she said that the next biggest fight in women's boxing is herself and you. What are your thoughts on that?
Listen, like I said before, she's a puppy, right? And with puppies, they need some potty training. And that's what she needs. She needs some potty training before she steps up to a big dog like myself. And like I said, the standard that I'm setting for myself is 12 rounds, 3 minutes. And I saw her performance. She looked like she got tired. She didn't look like what she talks about. So she knows exactly what she has to do, and I know what I'm doing. So there's a difference.
Absolutely. They did both get knockdowns, though. I will highlight that point there.
Absolutely. And Nikisa, question for you. In your mind, what is next for Alicia?
For what?
I said, in your mind, what is next for Alicia?
Headline event when she's ready. That's what's next for the bomb.
The bomb, baby.
Alicia, just a little bit of a lighter-hearted one. What do you think the dollar value was of the ice in the ring tonight between you and Johnny Day, and how did that collaboration come about?
Hi, baby. Probably like 5 mils. No, but for real, it was, you know, when we think about performance and we thinking about a brand, you know, I'm so happy to be a game changer in the sport of boxing. Alicia Baumgartner comes with looks, she comes with hooks, she comes with a mouthpiece, and she comes with just a different aura, and I want people to recognize that boxing is more than combat. It's a state where myself is a warrior, and I can look like a beauty, and I can look like a beast, and I can embrace both, and I think this empowers women to understand that you don't have to look one way, and you can do it the way you want to. And that's why I love MVP, Jake Paul, Nikisa, because they have allowed me and given me a platform like Netflix, shout out Netflix, to be the game changer that I'm doing in the sport of boxing.
Congratulations to both of you on a great night. Question for you. It seems like every single event, the selling point to the casual viewer is, oh, I want to see Jake Paul lose. But it seems like the tide is turning where now the focal point is what you guys have done for boxing, building women's combat boxing and the entire division, bringing boxing to Netflix, you know, fixing boxing and course correcting boxing. Do you feel the tide starting to turn? And by the way, Jake, his name anchoring has essentially introduced a new audience to great talent like the woman next to you. So do you see the tide finally turning with the casual viewer, that folks are finally getting on board of what you guys are accomplishing for boxing?
You know, I hope so. I think Jake said it best at the press conference. Like, boxing should want Jake to win because he's using his platform, his money, his time to try to build it for the better. And when you look at everything that we've accomplished, none of it happens without Jake. He is the tip of the spear, and he enabled us to go out and partner with Netflix, and then create an all-women's card on Netflix, and then push Netflix to say we want to make sure Alicia Baumgartner is the co-main here to get those eyeballs. Oh, and by the way, we want to add 3 more other championship-level women's bouts on the card. So, is the tide turning? I hope so. Do I care? No, because the results speak for themselves. And as I said, the #1 trending thing on Twitter was respect to Jake Paul, and that means a lot to me.
One more question for the champ. When it comes to performances and your sparkling resume, this fight was Michael Jackson Thriller. This was incredible. Do you feel the pressure now, every single fight? Like, man, everyone's going to expect a barn burner, everyone's going to expect a tremendous performance. Like, how do you deal with that type of pressure now that you have so many more eyeballs on you?
Yeah, no pressure at all. You know, I'm thankful for the team that I've been building for years now. And as a professional, I understand that there's ways of doing things, and I like to do them at the highest level. And, you know, you can't go any lower than the bar that I've set for myself. So I know moving forward, the bar just keeps getting higher. There's no glass ceiling. You can't put me in a box. And there's a time to be had, and we're gonna have that time.
Just, I'm gonna leave you guys with this. I saw a lot of comments, particularly from the UK, about Jake Paul as a novice boxer and shouldn't be in the ring with Anthony Joshua. He took some rounds from Anthony Joshua. It took Anthony Joshua 6 rounds to put out a man who's been in the sport for 6 years and took on the challenge in 4 weeks. Put some respect on Jake Paul's name in the UK. Thank you.